Okay, so good morning. Yesterday we already started our third unit, and that is nothing but voltage regulators. The requisite for voltage regulators, that is nothing but its input. Input to the voltage regulator, basically it is considered as unregulated DC power supply. What is mean by that unregulated DC power supply? That thing yesterday we discussed. Okay, so the same is shown on the board by using step down transformer and rectifier circuit. We can develop unregulated DC power supply, this one, right? So why it is known as unregulated? Because yesterday we seen whenever the load gets connected and according to the change in load current value, the output voltage of that DC power supply it gets changed. Expected is what? Whatever may be the load condition, that means at no load condition or full load condition or any else, the output voltage of that regulated power supply or output voltage of that power supply, it should retain almost constant, right now. So by using only rectifier circuit and that filter, yesterday we observed by changing the load current values, like I taken that example as IL almost 0, that means by disconnecting the load resistance, that is nothing but RL equals to infinite, or that RL equals to somewhat finite, but very high. That means load current will be small. And third condition I taken that RL as small, very low resistance, and hence the amount of load current will be very high. So we observe that the output voltage it gets changed. That means the average output voltage it gets degraded, right now. So the change in output voltage it is known as a ripple. See, in this case, that ripple gets generated this much. That means from the maximum charge value of that capacitor to the discharge value, right? So in second case, whenever that IL was small, we consider the maximum value of that capacitor voltage is 17 volts and it gets discharged to 16. That means the ripple contained in this case, it is 1 volt peak to peak. That you have to remember, right now. So ripple contain 1 volt peak to peak means what? The output voltage gets changed from 17 to 16 volts. Expected is what? Whatever may be the load current condition, this output voltage it should remain constant, like this one. But it happens only when that load current is 0 or no load is connected. Okay. Then in third case, we observe, I taken that example, when that RL will be small, IL will be high, and the values I taken as 17 volts to 5 volts. That means 12 volt peak to peak ripple will get generated. So in DC power supplies, any power supply, that ripple it should be as small as possible, but without any voltage regulator, we can't achieve it, right now, only by using that bridge rectifier and filter, right? So that ripple gets generated. That is the disadvantage of this much part of that DC power supply, and hence it is known as unregulated DC power supply. Okay. So one more term you might have studied, that is the performance parameters of that power supplies while studying the rectifiers. That is like percentage load regulation, percentage line regulation, then temperature stability, etc. Are you studied it during your first year? Just let me know. Are you heard these words? That means percentage load regulation is what? It is related to power supplies. Then second one, it is percentage line regulation. And third one is temperature stability. So these performance parameters are very important related to the power supply. Okay. So you have to note down it. So are you studied these terms? Are you heard these terms? Just let me know fast. Otherwise, I will be able to explain in detail. No issue. Just say something. Am I audible?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
blackboard properly visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you heard these words? That is percentage load regulation, percentage line regulation, temperature stability, etc. During the last year. These are the important performance parameters whenever you will go on to study the power supplies. It is related to our topic. That's why I am asking. And you have to remember again these performance parameters throughout your career. That's why. Okay. No answer from your side means you don't know these terms. So note down percentage load regulation. It is determined as equals to voltage at no load minus voltage at full load divided by voltage at full load into 100. Okay. Now we'll see one by one what is meant by voltage at no load and voltage at full load. If we consider our previous discussion example, see when no load is connected, how much output average voltage we are getting for this rectifier with filter 17 volts, right now. And if we consider the last condition as a full load, we are getting that average voltage. I think yesterday we average for this last condition at 11 volts, right? It will not remain 17 because its peak to peak ripple it is almost 12 volts. So average value I will consider it as 11 volts. And this condition, last condition, I will consider again as a full load condition, right? So for the same example, if we try to determine the percentage load regulation over here, you will observe that voltage at no load, it is 17 volts minus voltage at full load, it becomes just 11 volts, that is average, divided by, again, voltage at full load, that is 17 into 100, calculated. So 6 by 17 into 100. Your answer will be in percentage. So find out percentage load regulation for this unregulated power supply. Fast, huh?
Sir, there is full load, so we have to take 11 now.
What?
In denominator. There is a full load now, so we have to take 11.
Okay.
In denominator.
Yes. Divided by 11. Yes, correct. So 6 by 11 into 100. Six by 11 into 100.
54.5%.
Okay. It comes as 54.5%, right? Now see, if we consider there is some device connected across this output of unregulated DC power supply, by that device, if no change in output voltage is occurred, even if the load current gets changed, right now, and expected is same. See, even if load gets varied, the voltage of that source, right, it should remain constant. That is known as a good power supply. It may be AC or it may be DC. Here we are studying DC power supply, so we correlate to the same, right? So by connecting some device over here at the output of this unregulated power supply, and the output of that device, or by that connected device, if that output remains constant, whatever may be the condition of load, either no load or maximum load. That means zero load current or maximum load current, right now. So in that case, what you will observe over here, how much will be the value of percentage load regulation for that consideration? See this term, voltage at no load. For example, some device is connected. By that device, its output is 17 volts, right now, as I told. And even if I change the load or load current from 0 to its maximum value, if by that output voltage, it retains constant as a 17 volts. It do not get disturbed. And expected is same, remember, right now. So voltage at full load, it will remain how much? 17. So 17 minus 17 divided by anything, that will be 0%. So for regulated power supply, or we can say for a good power supply, percentage load regulation is equals to how much? 0%. That you have to remember. Right now. And for unregulated power supply, that percentage load regulation, it do not remain 0% because that full load condition it gets changed from its no load condition. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have to call any power supply as a good power supply or regulated power supply when you will obtain its percentage load regulation as a 0%. Right? So this is the first term, which is most important related to any power supply. Right? Now I will switch to percentage line regulation. Are you heard about percentage line regulation? Do you know the formula for percentage line regulation? You might have heard it again during your last year. So percentage line regulation, remember, it is simply delta V out by delta V in into 100. Change in output voltage with respect to change in input voltage. Okay. So see, I will take one example in this case. We are considering input supply voltage as a 230 volt. We consider this step down transformer as a 12 volt transformer. Is it? So if that supply line voltage gets changed, whatever the single phase supply line we are using for our domestic purpose also, that is nothing but 230 volt RMS with 50 hertz frequency right now. And there is so many times there is fluctuation in that supply line. Sometimes it becomes as a 210 volts or sometimes becomes 200 volt RMS. Sometimes it increases about 230, like 240, 250, etc. Right now. So fluctuation in that supply line may occur. That is nothing but that 230 volts may or may not remain constant as a 230. It may get varied from 200 to 250 or beyond that also. Right. So see, if I connected 12 volt transformer, right, instead of 230, if my supply voltage goes to 200 volts, first condition, I will take it as 200 volts. Right. My question is, output of this step down transformer, will it remain as a 12 or will get changed? And the transformer also, last year you studied that equation related to transformer. What was that equation? It was V2 by V1 equals to what? N2 by N1 equals to I1 by I2. Yes or no? Where this N2 and N1 is nothing but the number of turns of secondary and primary respectively. N2 means it is number of turns of secondary. N1 means it is the number of turns of primary. Okay. And for step down transformer, remember the number of turns of secondary, it is always less than that of primary. Is it okay? For step down transformer, V1, it is always considered as a 230 volt RMS, while across secondary, as it is step down, the obtained secondary voltage is less than that of applied primary voltage. Is it clear, this term? Note down at your end. For this step down transformer, we learn this equation, that is V2 by V1 equals to N2 by N1 equals to I1 by I2. At this stage, we will consider only first two ratios, that is V2 by V1 equals to N2 by N1. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, my question is, if the primary voltage initially, which was considered as a 230 volt, or primary voltage as a 230 volt, if my transformer is 12 volt, that means what? If primary supply voltage is 230, secondary will be 12 volt RMS. Both will be RMS. That is AC voltage with 50 hertz frequency. So my question is, instead of that 230 as a supply voltage, if fluctuation occurred and that supply voltage goes down to 200 volts, 200 volt RMS instead of 230. So the secondary voltage, will it remain as a 12 or will it get changed? Looking towards that formula,
Get change.
it will get changed because while manufacturing the transformer, that number of turns of primary and secondary are fixed. That number of turns will not be able to change right now. So this ratio, it will be a constant, remember. Is it? So looking towards this equation, you will observe if V1 gets changed, V2 also will get changed. V2 is nothing but what? It is a secondary voltage, which is less than that of V1, that is primary voltage, as we are calling it as a step down transformer. Okay. So if I ask for 200 volt as a primary voltage, how much will be the secondary voltage? Whenever it was 230, secondary was 12. Now instead of 230, if it goes down to 200, how much will be the secondary voltage? Can you determine it? It's very simple. See, just find out this ratio. V2 by V1, that is nothing but what? 12 by 230 equals to N2 by N1. So you will get that ratio. First of all, calculate it. A 12 volt transformer, if primary supply voltage is 230, secondary voltage will be, suppose 12, then what will be the ratio? That is N2 by N1, because V2 by V1 equals to N2 by N1. V2 and V1, that is known to us. V2 we are considering as a 12, V1 we are considering it as a 230, so that ratio will be 12 divided by 230. How much?
0.052.
0.052. Very good. Right now. And this is the constant. It will not going on to change whatever may be the change in input supply voltage, because these are the number of turns. So simple, right? So I am asking about this V2. Therefore, V2 equals to, I know that N2 by N1 is 0.052 into V1. V1, I am considering it as a 200 instead of 230. Right now, we are considering the change in supply voltage from 230 to 200. So how much will be V2? It is now 200.
10.4.
Yes, it will be 10.4 volts RMS. Is it? So see, if it is 10.4 volts RMS now, that rectifier circuit is already connected over there. Whatever the output pulsating DC we will obtain, will it have 17 volt peak? No. That 17 volt peak was possible only when that secondary voltage was 12 volts. Are you agree with this? That formula is also available. That is Vrms equals to Vm by root 2. Therefore, Vm equals to root 2 into Vrms, root 2 into Vrms. We are considering it as a 12, and that's why that peak voltage was 17 volts. Right? When supply voltage goes down from 230 to 200 volts, as per your calculation, secondary voltage available will be 10.4, that is RMS voltage, right? So my question is, if that 10.4 volt RMS is rectified by using the same rectifier, how much will be the peak voltage? Will it be same or will it get decreased? It will get decreased, because instead of 12, you have to take over here 10.4, right? So calculate it. Root 2 into 10.4 by the same formula. Already yesterday we discussed it.
14.7.
It will be 13.14,
14, sir.
okay, 14.7
7.
volts. So new output voltage, it will be 14.7 volts, right? Now we'll consider the next condition. Instead of that 230, if fluctuation occurred and that supply voltage, it becomes 250 volts instead of 230, right? Can you directly give me the answer over here? How much will be the peak voltage available? That is Vm of that after rectification. Will it be 14.7? Will it be 17 volts or any else? Have you got the question? instead of input supply voltage as a 230, if it becomes now 250 volts RMS, just directly give me the answer for that peak voltage of pulsating DC. Fast. That calculation is very simple.
18.3.
18.38.
How much?
18.38.
18.38 volts. Good. So see what is happening to the output voltage of this unregulated power supply if input supply voltage gets changed or line voltage gets changed. This is also known as line voltage. Instead of 230, if it goes to 200, instead of 230, if it goes to 250, what is the change in output voltage? Will it remain constant? No, it also gets changed. Right. So see, looking to this formula for percentage line regulation, it is not change in output voltage with respect to change in input voltage. Right. So in this case, change in output voltage, it is from 18.38 to 14.7 because this value will be available at the moderate. That is nothing but when supply voltage will be 230. We are considering only two boundary conditions, that is 200 volts to 250 volts if the supply voltage gets changed. What is happening with the output of this power supply, DC power supply? Its output also gets varied right now. So here you can find out that delta V out is equals to 18.38 minus 14.7. How much?
3.68.
3.68 volts. Very nice. So this is the delta V out right now. So I will take it over here. 3.68 divided by delta V in. It is 50. Are you agreed? Because we are considering change in supply voltage from 200 volts to 250 volts. That is our input, main input right now. So if that main input gets changed from 200 to 250, that means delta V in it is 50. So calculate now the percentage line regulation.
7.3.
7.3%. Good. Okay. Now to this second parameter, to improve this second parameter, what I will do, I will again connect some device over here. Right? And after that device, what we will observe, even if there is variation in supply voltage, the output of that device, it will remain constant as a 17. That means if delta V in, that V in is 200 volts, after that connected device, which I will be going to use to regulate the DC output of this unregulated power supply, its output will remain as a 17. If that input goes to 230, still the output of that connected device, it will remain 17. And for last condition, even if that input goes to 250, still the output of that regulator, which I will be going to connect over here at the output of this unregulated power supply, will remain as a 17. Is it okay? So in that case, how much will be the percentage line regulation? Looking towards over here. Will it be 100% or 0%? I will give only two options. It's so simple.
0%.
Yes. For that case, the percentage line regulation also will become 0% and expected is same. Remember. So for good power supply, or we can say now regulated power supply, why we will going to call it as a regulated? Because even if there is change in supply voltage, its output remains constant, and hence its percentage line regulation it becomes 0%. Again, second point, why we are calling it as a regulated? Because even if supply voltage is constant, but if there is change in load current, that means load connected to the output of that device, even if there is change in load current, the voltage across that device, output of that device, it remains constant, and hence that previous formula, that is voltage at no load minus voltage at full load, right? At numerator, it remains 0, and hence percentage load regulation also remains 0%, and expected is same. So for good power supply or regulated power supply, what you have to remember, percentage load regulation and percentage line regulation, both are 0% ideally. Practically, it do not remain 0%, but it is almost closer to 0. It is very, very small in value. Okay. So during your any technical competitive examination, such type of question may get asked. For a regulated power supply, percentage load regulation is option will be 100%, 50%, 0%. Your answer should be 0%. Remember, right now, don't write it as 100%. Right? Generally, we think in that direction. 100% is good, but it's not related to this one. Is it okay? So percentage load regulation and percentage line regulation for unregulated power supply, it is sufficiently large, and that's why we are calling it as unregulated. Is it clear? Straight and forward, the meaning of that unregulated means what? It is not regulated. It is not regulated power supply. Now, what is meant by regulated power supply? Even if there is change in supply voltage, okay, the output of that regulated power supply, it should remain constant. Similarly, second thing, even if there is change in load current condition or load condition, the output of that regulated power supply, it remains constant. And that's why we are calling that power supply as a regulated power supply. Okay. And third parameter that is also important, that is temperature stability. Okay. Now, again, straight and forward, by change in temperature, the output of such unregulated power supply also gets changed. That means it is unstable against the variation in temperature. Right? It is not stable against what? Variation in temperature. But whenever we will go on to connect that device to regulate this unregulated power supply, even if there is variation in temperature, the output of that device, that regulator, we can say, it remains constant. Is it clear now? Any doubt? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
So see, all these are the prerequisites for this unit, right? And according to me, it should be very clear to you, and that's why I conducted this one. So the device which continuously I was saying to keep that output voltage as a constant, on that device we have to work out in this unit, and that is nothing but regulators. So the title of this third unit is voltage regulators. Okay. And that voltage regulators we will go on to connect over here. I will simply show the block diagram. Suppose this is my that voltage regulator. And then I will go on to connect some load across it. So what we will observe, even if there is change in this RL, the output of that voltage regulator will remain constant. It will not going on to change with sufficiently large value. Similarly, even if there is change in supply voltage, still the output of that voltage regulator, that will remain constant. And third one, even if there is variation in temperature, the output of that voltage regulator, it will remain constant. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the classification of that voltage regulator. So remember, whatever the things I explained, from that, which type of voltage regulators we will go on to study now, either AC voltage regulator or DC voltage regulator.
DC?
Yes, DC, because I already told the output of that rectifier, that is nothing but unregulated DC power supply, that we will go on to use as the input to that device, that is regulators, right now. So its output will be again DC. So whatever the discussion will be there throughout this unit, that is related to DC power supplies. Okay, so this is not related to AC power supply. We will not go on to regulate that input AC. What we will go on to regulate? The output DC voltage, right? So the classification of that regulators, that is nothing but DC voltage regulators, basically they are divided as, or classified as, fixed voltage regulator, and second one is adjustable voltage regulator or variable voltage regulators. Okay, you have to remember this one. Basically, these regulators already it is explained, that is DC voltage regulator. So fixed voltage regulator and adjustable voltage regulator. In that fixed voltage, okay. So see, what is mean by that fixed voltage regulator? Fixed voltage regulator means, see, I use that word, that device, its output will remain constant even if there is variation in load current or even if there is variation in input supply voltage or variation in temperature, right now. So that device, if it is under this category, that is fixed voltage regulator, that means it will go on to provide the output as a fixed voltage. We can't change it. We can't change and regulate it, right? How it is, that also I will explain later on. An adjustable voltage regulator, or it is also known as a variable voltage regulator, means what? Its output we can vary, and that will remain constant. Or as per our requirement, we can change the output of this adjustable voltage regulator and can keep constant as our desire, right? So in this fixed voltage regulator, again there are two subtypes, that is positive fixed and negative fixed. For example, positive fixed means what? The output is suppose plus 12 volts, and negative fixed means what? The output of that regulator will be minus 12 volts. These are the just a single example. Similarly, over here, there are again two subtypes, same, that is positive adjustable and negative adjustable. Okay, we will go on to study in detail. No issue, don't worry. Is it okay now? How that DC voltage regulators are classified? Basically, it is fixed voltage regulator and adjustable. In that fixed, there are two subtypes, that is positive fixed. That means the output of that device, it will remain positive as well as fixed. We can't vary it. And negative fixed means its output will be negative, and again we can't change it, right? In adjustable, again either its output will be positive variable or negative variable or negative adjustable, right now. So in your syllabus, only these two are mentioned, that is positive adjustable and negative adjustable. No positive fixed and no negative fixed voltage regulators are given, because later on you will require these voltage regulators while designing and developing your projects. That's why you should be familiar with these, how it is to be designed and developed. That's why I will go on to conduct for these two also, that is positive fix and negative fix. Is it okay over here? Just let me know. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So remember, in your syllabus, only adjustable voltage regulators are mentioned, but still I will going on to conduct these two also in fast. Okay. So see, all these type of voltage regulators are available as a 3-pin IC voltage regulator. You might have seen it in our lab also. Okay. It looks somewhat like this. You might have seen such type of IC in our lab. So there are 3 terminals. Okay. Backside there is a heat sink and one number is mentioned on this device. So from that number, we can identify it is available out of these 4. Which one will be that device, right? So remember, positive fixed voltage regulator starts from 7-8 series. Negative fixed voltage regulator starts from 7-9 series. That number is given on that device. Positive adjustable, it is a single device, that is LM317. This is the example of positive adjustable, which you have to study in detail as per your syllabus. And this one, that is LM337. That also you have to study in detail. That means from its block diagram to its application. Is it clear? So as per syllabus, only these two you have to study. Okay. But still, I will be able to conduct these two, remaining these two. That is 7-8 and 7-9. It is expected you might have studied that fixed voltage regulators during your previous syllabus. So, was it there, 7-8 and 7-9 in your first year syllabus or no?
No, sir.
Okay. So, don't worry. So, see, these 7-8 series, that is positive fixed, are available in the market like 7805, 7809, 7810, 7812, etc. So many are there. Okay. When you will search, you will get all these series of 7-8. That is positive fixed voltage regulators. Right. So remember, these last 2 digits of that given number on that IC, this one, last 2 digits indicate its output voltage. That means if the assigned number on that IC is 7805, means what? It is plus 5 volts regulator IC. If it is 09, then 9 volt regulator IC, 10 volt regulator IC, 12 volt regulator IC, etc. All these are the positive outputs. Is it clear about that 7-8 series? Last 2 digits of that assigned number on this device, it indicates what? It is the output of that device. 7-8, first 2 words, first 2 digits, that indicates what? Is it fixed voltage regulator or negative voltage regulator? So if it is 7-8, that means what? It is a positive and fixed. If it is 7-9 mentioned over here, that means it is negative and fixed. Is it clear? Similarly, for the 7-9, almost same numbers are there. 7905 means its output will be minus 5 volt. If it is 7-9, suppose 09, that means it is minus 9 volt. 7912, that means it is minus 12 volt, like this. Again, so many are available in that 7-9. So is it clear? The output of this 7-9 series, it will be negative and fixed. Output of 7-8 series, it will be positive and fixed. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that 3 pins, all that regulators are available in 3 pin DIP package. Okay. Dual in line package. Such type of package is known as DIP package. So all are available with the same DIP package, and that pin numbers are given as pin number 1, 2, 3, etc. In the data sheet of that particular series, that is either 7-8 or 7-9 or for LM317 and 337 in the data sheet that manufacturer provides the information related to that pin number assigned to it. Pin number 1 is what? Either input pin or output pin or ground pin. Is it clear? So you can check, no need to remember that pin numbers, because while designing and developing any that regulated power supply, that data sheets will be available with you. So you just can check that pin number 1 is either assigned for this series as the input pin or output pin or ground pin. Clear? So for 7/8 series, pin number 1, this is for input, pin number 2, that is for ground, and pin number 3 is output. For 7/9 series, I think that pin number 3 is input, pin number 1, it is adjustable pin, that means we can adjust the output voltage, and pin number 2, again I think it is output pin. Okay, you can check it, no need to mug up that sequence. Okay, but only the intention is what? It is 3-pin IC. Out of that 3 pin, 1 pin that will be for input voltage, that is coming from unregulated DC power supply. 1 pin will be assigned for the output to get the regulated output voltage, and remaining 3rd pin that will be either to ground directly, that is for in case of fixed regulator, or it will be useful as an adjustable pin in case of adjustable voltage regulator. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now again, one more thing that you have to remember, in case of fixed voltage regulators, 0 max, maximum regulated output voltage, that may be fixed or that may be positive or that may be negative, is plus minus, purposely I written it as a plus minus 37 volts. If it is positive fixed, right, then just a minute, this is not 0 max, this is V in max, that is plus minus 37 volts. Now see, what is mean by that V in max? Input unregulated DC voltage, that is nothing but what? Coming from unregulated power supply, how much we can apply as an input to the fixed voltage regulator, that is 37 volts. Means what? If it is positive fixed voltage regulator, we can apply maximum input as a 37. It should not get exceed beyond that 37, otherwise that voltage regulator may get damaged. Is it okay? That means if we take this first example, suppose I have to use this 7805 to obtain the output as 5 volt regulated, that means constant, how much input voltage to that regulator IC I can apply? That is plus 37 volts, unregulated DC. Beyond that, if I try to apply it, then that regulator IC will get damaged. Is it clear? Similarly, if it is 7905, that regulator IC uses, suppose 7905, how much input maximum I can apply to it to get the output at minus 5 volt regulated? It should be maximum minus 37. So one thing, again, you have to remember, if you want to use the 7/8, that means if you want the output as a positive and regulated and fixed, then the input of that particular regulator IC, that is 7/8 series, it should be positive unregulated. If you want the output as negative regulated, then the input of that 7/9 series, it should be negative. Then and then you can obtain the output as negative regulated. Is it clear? So the remaining things we will continue from the next lecture because our time is also over. So we'll stop here.